Hey guys, Civilord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the long-awaited Mythic Legions and Necronominus wave. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Necronominus with his mighty steed, Conabus. That's right, people, we are moving on from the likes of Super 7 and Boss Fight Studios here at Overlord Productions and heading straight into the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios' most recent wave of Mythic Legions figures, the Necronominus wave, the long-awaited Necronominus wave. We've been waiting a hot minute for this, people, and boy oh boy, I'm happy to report, spoiler alert, they don't disappoint. Unlike the last all-in wave of figures I reviewed from Horsemen Studios, that being the Cosmic Legion's Outpost Saxius wave, these aren't riddled with quality control issues. At least not like those had. I do have a couple things to talk about, but I don't think I'm going to have too much trouble getting the replacement parts, to say the very least. Nothing's broken. Nothing is, well, broken, but there are a couple of things I am missing from my all-in set that makes me scratch my head a bit. So, we'll get to that when we get to that, but today we're taking a look at Necronominus, who doesn't have any quality control issues that I've noticed anyways, and Conabus. And let me tell you, folks, these things are finicky as hell. They are. That's just the nature of the beast, or beasts in this case, but I will tell you, the satisfaction that will take over your senses is well worth the finicking, the finagling, the trying to get everything set up just right so it looks good. It's worth it. It looks so freaking cool. So, with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see it all Necronominus and Conabus have to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with some alt hands. Got some alternate open hands here. As well as the inappropriate hands for holding weapons. You have the inappropriate hinges. I guess they can technically hold stuff, it's just not the right ones. And then we have a couple of shields for Conabus. Now these actually have little, I wouldn't call them clips, but these little pieces on the back instead of the traditional handles. But if you watch my Undead Vikinfell unboxing on my Instagram, you know that I'm actually missing a shield, so maybe I'll swipe one of these for now. And last but not least, we have the most important accessory, which, yeah, they don't come with a lot, but it's kind of nice that they don't. That way it's less stuff for me to put in a bag. But we have the God Razor. Now, truth be told, this does not kill people. This does not kill the residents of Mythos, the inhabitants of Mythos. It actually resurrects them. Maxilius the Harvester, on the other hand, he is the bad mofo with a sickle that kills people, or scythe, whatever. But as you can see, it's got a little handle down here. It's got this crazy kind of spinal cord running into the skull, which is feeding into the blade. This is enough to make the likes of Necron from DC Comics jealous. This thing is crazy. So that is cool. And that is it. So why don't we actually move Necronominus out of the way for a minute here. So I'm just going to attempt to lie him down off camera. There we go. Let's look at Conabus first, because we've seen plenty of horses at this point. Make sure my review set's not going to eat crap on me. Sometimes it does that. But this is a skeleton horse, and while that is awesome, it really truly is. Literally, I could stick my finger in his ribcage. I will say, it has a couple of drawbacks. The first one being the saddle. Not really being secure. I feel like if they wanted this to be secure, it should have hooked up to this neck piece too. Now what you can do is you can kind of wedge the neck armor into the saddle, but you run into this problem. This back piece wants to pop up and come loose, and that's not ideal. So maybe worst case scenario, you glue some stuff down and maybe put a couple more notches in this part of the saddle behind the stirrups, maybe put another hole up there, and then pop this out and pop it in, and then it'll be a little bit more secure, because as it stands aesthetically, this thing looks freaking nuts. Like, it's a flippin' skeleton horse, for crying out loud. But it is finicky as heck to get Necronominus on here. It just is. So, you know, word to the wise. Oh, that wasn't snapped in all the way. That's interesting. Word to the wise, you know, use caution with this. You don't want to bend something the wrong way and snap something and break it like that. Almost jacked up his little tusky things up here. But, you know, it's got a lot of give to it, considering the fact that it is thinner. But, you know, it does have the Legion's skeleton aesthetic, so they are a little thicker. They're big boned, as they say. But articulation is the same as all the horses, so I'm not going to get into that, because we've seen it before. I will say this back leg, this one little swivel point, a little loose. Just a little bit. But for the most part, I dig it. I think it's really cool. And I don't think he has one of those weird little neck pieces up in his cranium there, so that's kind of a plus. So moving him out of the way, because let's face it, the main event, the reason you're all here, is this guy. Now, truth be told, the wings are not attached in the package. Duh. There's no way they're going to attach all this stuff for you. You got to do that yourself. That said, I think I have everything on here right. I'm not sure about this weird kind of scarf thing. My buddy Patrick Boyle said it's supposed to wrap around the shoulders. I don't know if it's supposed to like kind of tie in the front here or what. I'll have to double check somebody else's review, because let's face it, I don't care about being first. I just care about having the stuff out there. Okay? I don't need to make $1,000 doing this. I just like doing it. And I like sharing my thoughts on things, and this is one of those videos. So if you came here looking for a tutorial on how to put stuff together, you're in the wrong place, buddy. I tried, and I got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter, because I like the way this looks. I think it looks fine this way. Maybe it's supposed to go around the back. I'm not sure. But the way it's cut, I can only imagine it's something like this. It's gotta be something like this. That's it. He's got this crazy headdress going on. And this is like a soft piece too, so it kind of just wraps around here. Looks good. Tons of little details on that sucker. Holy cow. Skull in the front, or whatever that is, his face. He does not have, if I can tilt his head back, no hinge jaw on him, which does kind of suck. I kind of wanted a hinge jaw on him. He does have, I think, some new forearms with the new gauntlets there. These are unique to him. Same with the legs. He's got some unique lower legs. Big old skeleton feet. I'm happy to report that nothing on this guy is egregiously loose either. And then the wings on the back. Let me flip this around. He's got these big wings on his back. These are basically the Terpiculi, the big arms, but with different pegs up here. It's pretty much the same all the way down to here, but this is different. This is a longer peg that goes into there. You do have to attach the very tip tops of these wings too, by the way. So as far as Necronominus' articulation goes, his head is on the ball joint. That's pretty standard. It can tilt and all that stuff. His arms, on the other hand, are a nice tight detents. Get a workout moving this guy around. Nice tight detents. They can move forward and back. He's got single elbows. With rotation, he's got gauntlet twist. With swivel hinge wrists that have the appropriate hinges for holding stuff, which is cool. Gummy thumbs so you can get stuff in his hands. That's always nice. He does have a ball joint in the waist. That works fine. It's not too loose. And as far as this goes, there's hips. You can kick them out. Kick them back down. Kick them forward and back. He's got single knee. But listen to that. Nice, tight, ratcheted knees. Can we get more of that, please? That's awesome. That's what I've wanted on these for the longest time, and this guy's got them. So hopefully some of those new figures in that Reign of the Beasts wave, some of those have the detented knees like that. That is great. He's got a swivel below the knee. He's got a ball hinge foot, so he's got good rocker, good hinge, good rotation, and all that good stuff. He does have peg holes at the bottom of the feet too, if you want to put him on a stand. But man, oh man, this thing is freaking crazy. And the soft goods all appear to be okay. I don't think there's anything too egregious going on there as I yank his doink towel out. That said, the cape, he's got this big cape here, the big freaking Spawn cape. That attaches in the shoulder sockets. It's got the little nylon kind of ropes that go in the shoulder sockets, much like the Gorgo Aether Blade and Attila Leonisir 2-pack, or better yet, the Vorgus Vermilius the Blood Armor version 2. So, with that in mind, moving on to the wings here. As far as their articulation goes, they can hinge back and forth, move up and down. The elbow joint, we'll call it here, hinge and swivel. And then this up here will swivel and hinge as well. Again, be careful with all this stuff. You don't want to snap nothing, but I didn't have to heat anything to get it to move. I did have to heat up the back to get those in. I would recommend maybe putting the cape on before that. I didn't need to heat up the arms to pop them out. They were a little tricky to get back in, but I didn't need to heat up a ton of stuff on this guy. I just had to heat up those back sockets. So I would recommend heating up the back sockets after you get the cape on, because that is really the toughest thing as far as assembly on this guy goes, is getting the cape on and getting those wings on. After that, you're off to the races. You're in good shape. So there is Necronominus standing freaking tall as hell. If you want to get an idea of how tall this guy is, the gray aliens from Cosmic Legions, he's about that tall. Should be worth noting these little bone doodads here that hang down from his almost his napples there. Those actually do kind of pivot too. They're just big kind of tassel pieces that hang straight down, but of course mine are all discombobulated because I'm me and I make a mess. So before I wrap this sucker up, because no, I'm not going to sit here and do a tutorial on how to get this guy on the horse. It's just so hard. I got him on the horse, clearly. You saw the URL, but it is incredibly hard to do that. So we're going to bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, obviously, Brother Mandibulus, his son, old Necronominus' son here. Looking at a pretty effed up family tree. Imagine a Brady Bunch with those people. You can see just how much taller he is than a standard Legions figure. It's kind of redonkulous. I would say he's probably pushing brute scale being honest. And we also have the infamous 11 spawn, who ain't towering over anyone today because he ain't no Necronominus. And truth be told, Necronominus is the big bad of Mythos, essentially. All the Horsemen answer to him, and not for nothing, he is physically the biggest. He is the tallest, he's the most imposing, he's the most finicky, he's the most everything. And that makes sense, because Congregation is the coolest faction. That's just facts. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and the award for most finicky figure of the year goes to, well, jokes aside, you guys know that I dig me some good old Necronominus, and Conabus here, despite the finickiness. I mean, seriously, it took me probably a good 20 minutes to a half an hour to get them set up like this, but once you get it set up, I'm going to tell you the satisfaction that will overcome your senses will be well worth it. So, with that being said, I want y'all to stay tuned because we got plenty of Necronominus reviews coming your way. And until next time, catch you guys later.